All right, guys, so we know that we just ended our argumentative essay unit. So today we want to focus on preparing for test prep, right? And getting ready for our test. What do you guys know about the ELA state test? Anything that you remember or anything about it? Anything?
There's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of questions. How many days is it usually?
2,
2 days, good. Do you know how many essays you usually write?
1,
One, good. I'm trying to think what else. Do you remember how you're supposed to answer your short response questions? What are you supposed to use in a short response?
race with an extra C.
Okay, good. With an extra C, good. So 2 pieces of evidence, right? Also, keep in mind when you write your body paragraphs, those also are going to have 2 pieces of evidence. So we're going to talk together. Do you guys play a specific sport, and what skills have you learned from playing that sport? Let's turn and talk quickly.
Wrestling.
Okay.
Volleyball.
Volleyball, both of you? Do you guys play in a specific team? This is fun. What about you? Are you on like a hockey, not wrestling? You're in like a wrestling team?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, and let's keep in mind what's different about a sport that you guys play, like a volleyball, having fun. That's a group of people in a team, where yours is more kind of like for your group of people, but more individually done, right? What skills do you need to play a sport? Not, like we said, not just kicking a ball, not just hitting a baseball. What type of dedication's a good one? What do you feel like you need to be able to play a sport well? Teamwork's a great one. Anything that comes to mind? Ooh, strategies, being flexible. Yeah, flexible is a good one.
My legs are not flexible enough.
Now, to get more flexible, what do you have to do every day?
Stretch.
Okay. Can you stretch like once a month and get more flexible, or you would have to do that like more often, and why?
You have to do it every day so your body can adjust.
Right. Do you ever like try to like stretch for like a few days and you're like, oh wow, like every day you're able to like kind of do a little bit more, right? Because you're building like your stamina, you're making yourself more flexible, right? Sometimes if you don't stretch for like a month, you do it the first time, you're like, oh my gosh, like I feel in so much pain, right? So keep in mind, a lot of the times when those types of things happen, it's because we're not building our stamina, right? So today, we want to understand the central idea of a nonfiction text. Do you guys know what a nonfiction text is? Is it real or is it fake? Good,
Yeah.
real. And think of nonfiction, not fake, and fiction, F is fake, right? Do you guys remember what a central idea is? If not, we'll talk about it in a couple of minutes.
The idea of it's a
Okay, it's definitely similar to the main idea. It's definitely giving like a main message that the author's trying to tell us, right? So today, and this is just like I wanted to tell you guys, like for the test, some things you might have not know. This is on the computer. Did you guys take it on the computer last year or no?
Yeah.
You did? What did you think of that? Do you feel like it was
It's
not a
not.
great experience? You preferred it?
No, I prefer paper.
Paper?
I've always preferred papers.
Really? Why did you not love the computer one so much? I feel like you guys are so good with the computers.
Grammarly is one because it's even if you spell the word right, it still like corrects your grammar.
Okay, so it
Super bad.
definitely doesn't
And
help
you
with confidence?
And you can't use it either. So you click it and then it says that you have to sign in, and it says you can't sign in with your account.
Do you also like being able to like flip back and forth
Yes.
to the different pages?
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a big thing that we're so used to, and like we grow up doing that, and then it's kind of just taken away. It feels more awkward. I notice that when I take tests too now. So we want to look at the central idea of a text, right? And we want to remember for the test, because this is really important, that a main idea is usually a section of what the text is mainly about, where the central idea is the big idea of the entire text, right? So we look at these pictures, right? We're noticing that it's a baby elephant caring for a mother elephant caring for the baby elephant, right? This one, we see that it's the 2 giraffes, the mom giraffe, like loving and caring for the baby giraffe, smooching. The third photo, an orangutan, they're cuddling, right? Each one is doing something different in the photo, but overall, what are they all doing?
Caring for the baby.
Yeah, excellent. They're actually all caring for the baby. It might be done in different ways, but we notice that that's the overall main message, right? So we want to practice. I'm going to read this paragraph, and then we're going to try to figure out the answer together, okay? So Whether you run a race, and you'll see it's in front of you in paragraph 1, bounce a basketball, or hurl a baseball home, you do it because it's fun. Some scientists claim play is a natural instinct, just like sleep. That might explain why sports are likely to be as old as humanity. According to paragraph 1 of the article, the main reason for playing sports is A, it's building teamwork skills, B, it's fun for the participants, C, it provides health benefits, or D, it fosters a positive attitude. Does anybody feel like they want to give a shot as to what this might be? Kiana? Good. So the overall message is that it's fun for the participants, but I want you to tell me where in the text is it actually telling you that they're enjoying playing sports. Do you see something there that says that? Yeah, you do it because it's fun. It's a natural instinct, just like sleep. So it becomes, like we said, like it's a part of you, right? So keep that in mind. Good idea and good job for number 1. Okay, like we said, you do it because it's fun. So I'm gonna read this, and then I want you to see if you could determine what the main idea of this paragraph might be. Some claim sports began as a form of survival. Prehistoric man ran, jumped, and climbed for his life. Does anybody want to guess like what prehistoric might mean? And remember, we've been trying to focus more on Greek roots, right? Does anybody know what the Greek root pre means? If you think of like a pre-assessment or
Before.
before. Like pre is before something. Now, historic, we think of the word history. What is history?
Like important events that happened,
When did they happen?
like before.
In the past. So if history is important information that happens in the past, what do you think prehistoric might mean?
Or it happened before history.
Yeah, like before we even really had like recorded history, in the prehistoric era, which is like in the BC era, years and years and years ago, that we don't even have like information where we really wrote about it. This is kind of what happened during that time. So sports even existed back then. So wall paintings dating from 1850 BC that depict wrestling, dancing, and acrobatics were discovered in an Egyptian tomb at Bani Hassan. Does anybody see a number in there? In that sentence I just read? Do you see anything? What do you see?
1850 BC.
Yeah. So obviously we know it's a really long time ago. Why do you think they didn't just say wall paintings dating from a long time ago? Why do you think the author chose to input the number instead, the number 1850 BC? What is that doing for us as a reader? What do you think? Why do you think the author included, not that it just happened a long time ago, but it was 1850 BC? Want to give it a shot? Why did the author include that specific number?
Can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
Doesn't matter either one.
Thank you. So why do you think they included the number 1850 BC instead of just saying a long time ago? Was the 1800s, was that a long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a few hundred years ago. Was the year 1300 a long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about 1850 BC?
Yes. Before.
That's
That was.
thousands of years before that. So when you hear the word a long time ago, you might be thinking, hey, maybe it happened a couple of hundred years ago. When they're including that drastic number, that's supposed to let us know this was a really, really, really long time ago. So the author chose to include that number to stress to us how long ago this really was going on. That sports have been embedded in us forever, right? So,
26.
yep. The ancient Greeks revolutionized sports by holding the world's first Olympic Games at Olympia in 776 BC. So that tells you it's 1,000 years later, but it's still really long ago, right? But it wasn't until the early 19th century. Does anybody know what time the 19th century was? I'll give you a hint. The 2000s right now, or the 21st century? So if the 20th century was in the 1900s, when do you think the 19th century was? What's the 100 years before the 1900s? The 1800s, right? So now it's bringing us back, still a long time ago, but a lot later, right? It wasn't until the early 19th century that sports as we know them came into play. More modern sports such as cricket, golf, and horse racing happened and became a lot later, began in England and spread to the US, Western Europe, and the rest of the world. These sports were the models for the games we play today, including baseball and football. Looking at this paragraph, what do you think the main idea of this paragraph, what was the author's message trying to tell us about sports? Turn and talk. What do you think the author was trying to tell us?
That they go back before time. They date back before time. They go very far back.
The author was trying to tell us that sports has been a huge part of humanity forever, right? So that's why they're taking this little snippet, this little paragraph to give us the history of sports so we understand it's not a new thing. It's been a part of us since before we can even record this information, right? Great job. So we want to keep in mind that as the weeks progress, we're going to be focusing heavy on the main idea and the central idea of text so that we're prepared for the state test. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, great job, guys.